chips are in the bowl. The nudes are poured. We're ready to roll on Steel and Vance.
Oh my goodness. Should we start by the Oscar nominations? And by the way, I think we're gonna have
Dana G.
Yeah.
Dana G will be in the house. So she
Not
will
tonight.
No, she will help you win your Oscar pool, but that'll be the Thursday before the Oscars. So the early March, Dana will be in here.
Nominations are out. A lot of people are beaking off about the fact that the star of Barbie and the director, the female director, neither of them were nominated in those categories.
Linda, it's pretty much the whole plot of Barbie is that only the guy gets the recognition. It's wild. Ryan Gosling as Ken, Best Supporting Actor nominee. He is nominated for an Oscar. That's really, really cool. But Ryan Gosling actually took the time to write a very thoughtful piece of how there is no Ken without Barbie, and there's no Barbie without Margot Robbie, and there's no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig. So interesting stuff here.
I've heard some people going online saying the acting wasn't very good. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I do know that it was massive at the box office, $1.44 billion. Beat all records. It's huge. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig certainly wins as the most celebrated and money director. So there you go.
We have so many things coming up on the show. We're going to talk policing, tax dollars, how it impacts the people in Surrey, new details out on the very controversial transition, and we're learning new things about the budget that, hey, you know what? There is no need for any kind of double-digit tax hike, which is what the Surrey mayor continues to say. And we are going to have the Public Safety Minister, Mike Farnworth, in studio. In studio, an extended discussion with the Public Safety Minister, specifically about, yes, trigger alert. We're going to talk about Surrey Police Services. And yes, Linda is married to the chief of police in Surrey, but these are facts. And the budget is not about the politics. It's the dollars and cents that really haven't been laid on the table. So we'll get to that. We're also going to get to something that is really important to a lot of people, and that is that your pets are actually a big part of your family. And when your family decides to divorce or split up, who gets the dog, who gets the cat, that's a big deal. Well, so we are going to have our favorite animal law lawyer, Rebecca, or Brett. Yeah, Bretter. I'm losing it for a second there. Bretter Law. Rebecca is coming in studio, and we're excited to have her come in. And also, we're going to talk about eye health. If you have dry eyes, if you have macular degeneration, if you use your screens a lot, we are going to talk about eye health with Gord Birdie, who's the founder of ProMed Eye Health out of Abbotsford. That's coming up in the show. Oh, hey, and a bunch of really cool things for you while you're sitting at home. If you entered our viewing party last week, you might win a $150 gift card to Brown's Social House today. So at the end of the show, we're going to show the pictures all through the show, as we always do. And then at the end of the show, $150 gift card to Brown's Social House. Speaking of contests, we also have our Hot Rocks contest. Oh, these love stories are so great that are coming in. Basically, you could win a $3,000 lab-grown diamond, compliments of Kim Hellman, diamond broker. And Kim says, friends don't let friends pay retail. So that's the kind of diamond broker she is. So what are you going to do to get in on this? Oh, just send us an email, your love story, hotrocks@chekmedia.ca. Yes. We're also going to be talking about the population growth of Metro Vancouver. We got to get to headlines. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. You're excited tonight, Linda. Because we have new population numbers out showing that Metro Vancouver's population is going to be 3 million this year. Surrey is going to be the biggest city in this province in 2029, which connects back to the Surrey policing. That's why they need a municipal force. That's huge, 3 million. And Surrey, the growth is going to be crazy. We're growing up in a big, big way and a fast way, and we need to make sure that all the services and the protections are in place to take care of that population. The bus strike, that hit our family pretty hard this week, right? Wow. After 2 snow days last week, everybody with kids was like, "Oh, are we getting to and from?" Oh my gosh. It's not over yet. But they do have the whisperer, the labor whisperer, Vince Reddy, has been brought in as a special mediator. But that union is threatening to potentially find a way to shut down all transit service in the next, couple of days? They said as of Friday or something? Nothing will happen until February 2nd, but at any point after that, they kind of reserve the right. You'd get 48-hour strike notice. That's really helpful. Because, oh my gosh, was it crazy on the roads for commuters and kids trying to get to school? And Uber surge pricing up to like $100 for a 3-minute ride. Not cool. That was not cool. Oh my gosh. And kudos to the people who gathered together with strangers and were like carpooling together and really
showing that we're in this together, even when we're faced with some tough stuff. Tough stuff's like, Linda, is it my imagination, or are there more shootings these days around? It seems every day we wake up.
There's always shootings. As long as I've lived in this province, like shooting. Different cities, cars on fire.
Yeah.
And in this instance, we had a gangster gunned down at a mall.
Yeah.
This was in Abbotsford?
No, this was in
Maple Ridge.
This Abbotsford, you were right about this one, but there was one in Maple Ridge and there was one on Kingsway.
Well, so it's hard to keep track,
it is.
Right?
Exactly the point. So we need everybody to be careful and cautious out there. The freaky part of, really, all of it's scary, but in a mall parking lot outside of a Best Buy in broad daylight.
These people don't care.
No, they don't.
It's all about the money. It's usually about drugs. And speaking of drugs, we just got the new overdose numbers, deaths for the 2023. It were a record number.
Again.
2,511 people died of overdoses. That's now
about
7 people a day.
Like
and
decrim.
we still don't know what we're going to do about it.
Doesn't look like decrim has helped that much. I mean, yet. Or maybe it would be even more without decrim.
Well,
you know what?
Say it's got to have safe supply. And then people say, why would you give drug users who are killing themselves more drugs? So it is something we have to figure out because people are dying.
And we need ways to help support the people who are looking to get off drugs. And right now, there is no place to go. So there's a lot to talk about on this file. We'll keep doing it here on the show. But that was a big headline. Another big headline were strep deaths.
Yeah, there's like a
really aggressive
jump in the strep infections that has killed 4 children recently. I mean, come on.
It's terrifying.
There's so many things to worry about. If it's not COVID, it's strep and it's RSV and it's
and if you are that
blah.
sick and you go to the hospital, how busy that is, how full it is. Hallway medicine, we hear about it from our physicians, our emergency room physicians. Thank you for all your hard work. Nurses, thank you for all your hard work.
There's another connection to the healthcare system, and that is reports that patients are kind of being dumped out of hospital on bus benches and what have you in both Vancouver and in Victoria. They tell a different story. They say, no, sometimes these patients want to be discharged and have nowhere to go. Other people say, you're just trying to, they're like bed blockers, get them out of the hospital and we don't have the staff to deal with this person who's homeless. That's a problem as well, that we're going to have to figure out what to do. We don't have enough staff.
It gets more complex by the day, doesn't it? Really, it does. Bank of Canada. So for some, this is really good news that it stood pat, maintained the policy interest rate at 5%. For others, it's like, please let this go down. I can't afford
Enough.
this.
That was the 4th time they just held, it's time to start going down.
Let's hope this is the last of the standing pat.
But, the interest rates connect to housing prices, the lack of housing and what have you. And the federal government's been under fire because we've seen this dramatic escalation in the number of international students being allowed into Canada, and a whole ton of them are coming right here. Finally, the federal government has jumped up to do something about it because there's an election coming next year and they know people are mad. So they're going to cap for 2 years the number of foreign students coming in. BC says it's going to announce its plan of some of these diploma mill schools for foreign students that are all in it for that. We're going to find out what BC is going to do about it next week.
We're going to try and get Selena Robinson in studio to talk more about what BC is going to do about it. And you brought it to the table last week. The number, I didn't realize the number of basically front schools that were handing these out, like you said.
Right.
It is awful to think that it's being abused, the loophole's being abused to this degree, and housing is being impacted for sure.
Well, apparently 20% of the foreign students who come here don't even go to school.
Brutal.
It's just a way to get to Canada. Another big thing that the federal government did, actually, they didn't do it. They sort of sucked it up. It was a bad week for the Trudeau government.
It was.
It was a judge that came out and said, you know what, the use of the Emergencies Act during the trucker convoy, remember that? The horrible situation that lasted a month?
Shut
down Ottawa?
Yeah, but Go ahead.
The judge said no, that it was unconstitutional use of it, unreasonable use of that act. The federal government says we're going to appeal that decision, so stay tuned. That one's not over yet.
Many leaning in on that, saying it was a failure by Doug Ford, that Ontario should have done something before the federal government had done something. So we'll see how this, because he didn't use the Emergencies Act within the province alone. to do it because it would have been a bad political move.
Well, not to mention there were
obviously.
too many different police departments. You had RCMP, you had Ottawa Police, you had other police coming in, and
Yeah,
nobody
it
was
was
really
a
seemed to be
mess.
in charge.
It was a mess. Hey, later up on the show, pets are now more than property in a breakup, so legal custody is on the table. We're going to discuss new laws and also the battle over policing.
The Surrey mayor claims ditching the RCMP would mean a double-digit tax hike. Sounds scary, but critics call that political fear-mongering, and the public safety minister said it's not even true. He joins us next.
And here we go. It's viewing party time. Did you send us a photo last week? Well, hello, Caitlin. Maybe you're going to be our winner tonight in South Surrey.
Dean and Sue in West Vancouver, hello to you.
Hi, guys. Deanne, hello there in Comox Valley.
And we have Donna in Abbotsford. Thanks for watching.
And you can get in on this week. Just send us your photo. Viewing party at checkmedia.ca. Show us your face. Tell us where you're from.